In a quiet town nestled between mountains and meadows, lived a girl named Aaliya. She was 18, bright-eyed, kind-hearted, and full of dreams. Her world was small, just her mother, a little yellow house, and the bookstore where she worked part-time. But to Aaliya, it was everything. Every morning, she would walk through the misty lanes, humming softly to herself, carrying her mother's handmade lunch in one hand and her sketchbook in the other. Because Aaliya didn't just see the world, she drew it. She had magic in her fingers. She could draw an entire emotion with a single stroke. People at the bookstore would often stop to peek into her sketchpad and say, "You're gifted, Aaliya. Someday, the world will know your name." And Aaliya would smile, blush slightly, and whisper, "Maybe, one day." Fate had something else planned. It was a Friday. She still remembered the way the sky looked that morning. Blue, bold, and full of hope. She had just reached the bookstore when her phone rang. It was a number she didn't recognize. Something in her heart dropped. She picked up, and her world crumbled. There had been an accident. A truck. A rainy road. And her mother didn't survive. The words didn't make sense. The world felt silent, but screaming. Time paused, then shattered. She rushed to the hospital, only to be greeted with cold walls and white lights. No familiar smile, no warm hug, just absence. The funeral was quiet, too quiet. Neighbors brought food. Some cried. Others said, "She's in a better place." But Aaliya wasn't in a better place. She was drowning. Her safe little world, the one she had drawn with so much love, was gone. Days passed, then weeks. She stopped going to the bookstore. She stopped eating. She stopped drawing. She packed her sketchbooks in a box and shoved it under her bed. What's the point? She thought. She's not here to see it. Grief is a strange thing. It doesn't knock before entering. It takes over. It rewrites your story without asking. One morning, after 2 months of silence, she stood in the kitchen, staring at the empty chair where her mother used to sit. The sunlight hit her face, and for a moment, just a moment, she remembered her mother's laugh. How it filled the room, how it warmed the walls. Tears rolled down her cheeks. But this time, they weren't just from pain. They were from memory, from love. She walked into her room, opened the box beneath her bed, and pulled out a sketchbook. Her hands trembled as she held the pencil. Then slowly, line by line, she drew, not flowers, not faces, but feelings, grief, loneliness, love, hope. The page wasn't neat, but it was real. And when she finished, she looked at the drawing and whispered, "Maybe this is what I'm meant to do." From that day on, Aaliya drew, not for others, for herself, for the girl who had lost everything, but was still standing. She started posting her sketches anonymously online. She called the page Silent Strokes. Each drawing had no face, no name, just raw emotions. She didn't expect much, but one morning, her inbox was flooded. Strangers wrote, "I don't know who you are, but this drawing feels like me. I haven't cried in years. Your sketch made me feel again. This helped me more than any therapy." Her art was touching hearts, not because it was perfect, but because it was honest. And then, something unexpected happened. An art therapist from a local community center reached out. "We saw your page," she said. "Would you like to come speak to our kids?" Aaliya hesitated. "I'm not a speaker," the woman smiled. "You don't have to speak, just draw." So she went. That day, she walked into a room full of children, most of them quiet, withdrawn, some carrying emotional scars she recognized in herself. She drew. They watched. Then one by one, they picked up crayons and started drawing too. Not trees or houses, but feelings. And something magical happened. One boy, who hadn't spoken in months, slid a drawing toward her. It was messy, chaotic, but powerful, and written at the bottom, in shaky handwriting, "This is what my sadness looks like." Aaliya looked at him, smiled, and said softly, "It's okay to draw your sadness. That's how we set it free." She kept going back, week after week, drawing, listening, healing, not just them, but herself, and word spread. From now, she was invited to speak at local events, then art schools, then platforms she had only dreamed of. One day, standing on a small stage with a crowd in front of her, she told her story, not with shame, but with strength. I lost my mother, she said. I lost my home, my hope, my voice. But in that darkness, I discovered a gift I never knew I had. Not just the ability to draw, but the courage to feel, and to help others feel too. Tears filled the eyes of people in the audience. Not because her story was perfect, but because it was real. She didn't wear her pain like a wound. She wore it like armor. Years passed. Today, Aaliya runs her own studio called Art from Ashes. She teaches grief art therapy. She speaks to teenagers across the country, and her sketches, the same ones born from sorrow, now hang in galleries and hospitals around the world. But she doesn't chase fame. She doesn't paint for applause. She paints for the girl who once sat in silence, thinking her story was over. And if you were to visit her studio, you'd find a single frame on her desk, a small, simple sketch of a mother holding her daughter's hand. And written beneath it, "She gave me life, and when she left, she gave me purpose." So, what's the lesson here? Life can take everything from you. People, plans, peace, but it can never take what's inside you. Your gift, your voice, your light. Sometimes, it takes losing everything to discover the one thing that truly matters. Aaliya's story is a reminder to us all. You are stronger than your losses, braver than your past, and more gifted than you realize. So when life breaks you, don't give up. Pick up the pieces and create something beautiful, because your greatest gift might be waiting just on the other side of the storm. The end.